What's up everyone, I'm RIDZWAN. It's nice meeting you again. If you are watching this video, I thank you from the bottom of my heart because you are just in time to know the first vlog of mine. This vlog is actually part of my assignment for BIP3073 course, Reflective Practice in ELS Classroom, and my lecturer, Dr. Irene Aina binti Bahari. Alright, anyway, let's get to the topic of this vlog. I'm going to talk about a critical reflection of my teaching video, which consists of corpora model and several critical incidents. But before that, do you know what is corpora model? No? If no, I'll tell you. Corpora model consists of cognition, practice, observation, rationalization, and last stage is action. So, my class is a Form 1 student, which consists of mixed ability students, and my topic will be present simple tense. Alright, without wasting much time, let's go to the first stage, which is cognition. In this case, teachers elucidate their rationales for their lesson planning and selection of activities and resource. Cognition model is relatively new strategy that is often used to teach students self-control skills. This strategy provides teachers with options, although most of the procedures require the students to rehearse the verb input aloud, then in a whisper, and finally with silent speech. For my teaching video, there is no session where my students need to interact with their friends because I just started giving them new knowledge about simple present tense at the pre-lesson. They only need to speak with me at the while and post-lesson. Because in the while lesson, I ask them to work with me to find the correct answer to the activity. And in the post lesson, they must speak or read the sentence and find the correct answer. Even if my students do not speak much in this lesson, they do know how to interact with me. Therefore, I think it is adequate for me since they are Form 1 students. Second stage will be practice. In this case, teachers describe the practice and the events that have taken place in the classroom. Practice models are related to the action and strategies teachers and students deploy in class during the teaching and learning process. The classroom is a place where social actors interact with each other towards the common objective of giving and receiving knowledge. For it to be well transmitted, classroom practice must be inclusive to ensure every student feels valued and supported in their learning process. Alright, we have 4 parts in this practice, which consists of set induction, pre-lesson, while lesson, post-lesson, and closure. So I'm going to talk about set induction. Alright, so for the set induction, I showed my students the slides about simple present tense and explained it to them. Before that, I instructed my students to jot down some notes that would be useful in their subsequent lesson. It is teacher-centered in the sense that I am the only one who first impart all of the knowledge, and my students simply listen and take notes on what I present on the slide. Prior to the lesson, or we call it pre-lesson, I explained to the students about the activities and gave them instructions on how to carry them out. Next, for a while lesson, I call the activity Work With Me because it requires both the teacher and the students to participate in the discussion. The activity is straightforward, where students must collaborate with the teacher, with me, to identify and correct errors in simple present tense sentences. To discuss with the teacher, each student was given 2 sentences. For post-lesson, the activity is called Survive by Yourself. It looks like a game that is full of colorful visuals. Of course, technically it's just a reading quiz with multiple choice answers. Students were told that they needed to apply everything they learned in the previous lesson to this quiz. They were given 2 questions each, and they had to read the sentence with a blank space before selecting the correct answer from the option. And last but not least, there is closure. I asked the students to share what they learned today with the class, and there is no extended activity because they managed to answer all of the quizzes correctly. That's for practice stage. Now we're moving on to the next stage, which is observation. Alright, in this case, observation where teachers mentally recall what has transpired in the lesson that they have taught. In my teaching video, I noticed that most of the students enjoyed and understood the simple present tense well, but only one of them did not understand my instruction well because he wanted to guess the sentence right away, despite the fact that I had instructed him to find the subject of the sentence first. While the other student did an excellent job of adhering to my instruction. My student answered all of the game questions correctly for the post-lesson, and they can explain why. Despite the fact that one student had difficulty analyzing one sentence during the lesson, it demonstrated how focused they are in my class. I'm very proud of my student. Next, we go to the next stage, which is rationalization. What is rationalization in this case? So, teachers are to provide reason for the challenges that they have encountered in their classroom and provide possible explanation for them. The difficulty I encountered during my previous lesson, as I waited for students to enter my class, 2 students communicated with me via WhatsApp and informed me that they would be unable to join my class at that time due to technical difficulties. Possible explanation would be unexpected things that happened where both students couldn't join because of limited use of telephone resource. The first student reason is that he needs to share the device with his younger brother who also have a class schedule at the same time. His parents have asked him to be tolerated, which is why he DM'd me to inform me. The other student also communicated with me via WhatsApp using her father's phone, stating that she would be unable to attend the class because her father would need to the phone for work. Next, after the lesson began, I encountered an internet connection issue among my students. I discovered at the start of the class session that whenever I asked a question, the student would respond at 4 to 5 seconds, and the audio was not very clear. It revealed that the majority of my students had a poor internet connection, causing the session to lag. So my lesson plan idea cannot be carried out in the way that I would. Like, for example, I cannot show them a video about the topic from YouTube that I already prepared for them and play a game like word wall and quizzes because it will consume too much data. This was not something I expected to happen. Okay, and lastly, what I encountered during the one lesson was that one of my students incorrectly guessed one of the sentences. It should be an incorrect sentence, but the particular student said it was correct. So despite the fact that I had previously taught him, this could have happened because I didn't check on my student right away after teaching them about simple present tense in the pre-lesson. I just carry on with the activity without checking to see if my student understand it or not. Now, we go straight away to the last stage, which is action. In this case, teachers begin formulating possible solutions to their problems. Okay, so solution of the challenge at the rationalization for the absent students. I would prefer to record my teaching video and upload it on my YouTube channel due to the easiest way for my student to watch it there. My absent student can watch the teaching video later when they have the access to the cell phone. For the successful criteria, I will provide a formative test, which is a reading question in a Google form. So my absent student can click the link and answer the questions right away. This action surely will not let my students left behind and keep them on track with me. Now, I'm going to talk about critical reflection. But before that, I want to give you a definition of critical incident. What is critical incident? Okay, Jack C. Richards stated that a critical incident is an unplanned and unanticipated event that occurs during a lesson and that serves to trigger insight about some aspect of teaching and learning. Critical incident analysis in teaching involve the documentation and analysis of teaching incident in order to learn from them and improve the practice. There are 2 critical incidents that I can relate with my belief, which belief in teaching and belief in learning. Yeah, okay, so the first critical incidents are student difficulties to join the online class. Okay, so what is the connection between this critical incident and my belief in learning? Okay, I believe when you have a will to learn, you will have a smooth way to learn because it is a good intention, right? However, things not always are good and take our side. Unexpected events can occur, such as I'm very enthusiastic about my subject matter. On that day, I also prepare a suitable lesson plan with appropriate material for my students. Grammar is a simple present tense language that I chose. So I'm very excited to teach my cherished students, and it turns out 2 of my students couldn't manage to join the class. And you know what? I need to record my teaching session and upload it on my YouTube, because I did all of that thing so that my student not left behind. That is the reason why I believe in learning. As far as I concerned, whenever my student want to learn, I'm the teacher, should give it to them. Okay. So what I can say, even though we got so many challenges, we can stay motivated by simply sticking to our convictions regardless of the circumstances. We believe that learning is essential, innate, ongoing, and lifelong process, and learners are unique and they are responsible for their own learning. And I believe my student will watch the video and do the quiz because they are learners. They believe in learning, and I believe in learning too. The next critical incident is communication problem during online class. What is the connection between the second critical incident and my belief in teaching? Okay, personally, I believe in planning. As a teacher, I will prepare everything ahead of time because I do not want any problem to arise during the class session. I have a YouTube video related to the topic that I want to show in class, as well as several online games like word wall and quizzes that students must open on their devices. When the problem occurred, I did not expect it to happen. Fortunately, I have the other teaching materials that really helped me to teach my student at that time. Okay, so for the particular student who didn't manage to guess the sentence whether it is correct or not, even though I have taught him, this is because I'm too focused to deliver the lesson plan that I created. It caused one of my students misunderstanding. So what I want to say here, every teacher must always communicate and keep updated about your students' understanding in your classroom, because I believe we want the best of our students and classes. As teachers, we can plan how our classes will go, but we cannot predict future problems such as this critical incident. So, the next section is going to be a discussion about the best solution to the problem, right? Am I right? I hope I'm right, yeah? I'm hoping you guys can provide a variety of solutions to the critical incidents that occurred to me in addition to my on-the-spot solutions. Okay, I think that's enough for today's vlog. I think I talked too much, and you guys might be bored and tired of hearing from me, but that's fine. So long as you learn something from my vlog, it's fine with me. Bye for now, until we meet again.